Testing. Testing. 0, 0, 0. Now I have it leveled. I don't know what to say. This is an experiment. Unauthorized. My reasons for doing this experiment are several. First, as I said, this is totally unauthorized. I'm not even signed to be in this area. But I had this idea of doing this objective. This is a superior start. If the second stage of this operation goes negative error, I estimate placing this disk retro to approx time year AD 1953, 1953, possibly 4. That year's the only frequency I could remember without getting tapes up. I'm not even certain I have that correct, but it is approx. And if it's an error, then nobody's hearing this anyway. I can see I should have prepped this better. I'm storing this feed on one of these disks that have been located in this division for an extended period of time. I had guessed they're utilized for ordinary blue verbal data banking. But I saw on core Night 17.6 that same class disks were also utilized retro in late AD. You had a lot of these mechanical products. And this data generated a cortical image of how I could recircuit Solex 2. B12 service day 14.6. Op transfer 3E9/14 code 2165 BB. Negative. Unit self-correction till day 1710. Cut a green tester to see if it blows any dust. Sir, if you verify. Read out RNL. Console high power in charge. C-17264 9K11. Plug in 09244-761 panel signal. Code 4F22. I imaged this method for recircuiting Solex 2, which is this unit in the adjacent module that basically it transposes time frequencies for interplanet matter transport. This blue verbal seems impossibly slow, but if I shift to yellow or UV, it might not receive. UV wouldn't take on this disk anyway without an adapter. Anyway, I had estimated that on high energy levels, Solex could warp this disk retro to the negative template of current setting, which is, as I say, should be approx year AD 1953, possibly plus. I don't think this has been done before. No knowledge of reason. The hardware's all long-term stock, but your mind just doesn't seem to function that way. Retro, I mean. Factually, we have a semi-black picture of that time, your time. All mechanical and disunified before major coordinations. But at base, personnel just don't think about it. No knowledge of reason. I do. I respond pro to the cortical image I have of presidents, voting, animals, big airplanes, all kind of physical, slow. My estimated reason for this reaction is failure to receive my History 2 infusion. That's the only reason I can image. I was ABLA when my T-section had their key infusion administered, day 21-246, and my first rescat never came through. And for second rescat, night 23-546, I never showed up. That was spontaneous action. I've been doing data pickup whenever I can plug in, but without that first infusion, it's definitely limited. I assume that's why I respond pro to this cortical image of the past that I've made. Oh, Max, I wish I knew time-lapse since AD 1953. Unable to head compute with negative knowledge of scale, and there's no terminal in this room. Atom now is 258, but that's CDS, carbon dating system, which must have negative meaning for you. And atoms are shorter than years anyway, so dry loop. But I estimate it as not being too long retro in straight linear time. sir, we have some sustainers now who were born approx. AD 1953. I've touched with some of them. But they're so full of plastic, it's next to impossible to get any kind of printout from them. Living on you too, holy baby. Touch me. You were missed, but no energy loss. I'm doing a blue verbal move. Yes, query location. The Conan open 21-6. Checked it on core and estimated you're gonna have. Report. Oh, on B-axis. You're on rec time. I thought it was in district. Query travel time. 17 minutes. Worth it? Oh, Max, now you're holding my hand. But I image it as a class of diethol on 61 station. Query innovation. Any solitude simulants? Any solitude simulants? Hold.
Check alter 140K reads 212K. 129K reads 16K. Manual feedback immediate.
Interrupt. Touch you later. Bracket, hold open brief while I bounce located check off. Start. CDS intro post-year 1953. I estimate 36 at 48 years. Buggers my lack of cortical scale, how long a year is. History infusion. It's impossible to pick up single cell data like that independently, and I've been manually requesting resket for mills. My primary impulse now is to feed you questions, but that would yield zilch effectiveness under circumstances. Query, do you know of feedback from AD? If so, utilize it. I have a definite positive impulse to touch with you. Meanwhile, necessitates I give one-way blue verbal flow at which I function zilch and hope it receives. I can't believe this operation hasn't been performed before. And me at J3. My ident... Actually, I haven't even told you my ident for brain regello. My name is Decker, TL, and index J3, as I said, and my T group is the Roaring Vectors 252 of New East Web Charlie. That's single stack, but it's one of the best boards online and really requires fill up for a J3 out of there. I don't know how indexes were in your honor, but present J3 is on red rating now, and there's nothing to be put under by. A bio-parent of mine is doing programming in Denver, and she estimates possible to shift my record up to 5 bankroll, possibly 6, but I told her negative bother. Product of a shift like that would be my rec time programmed at mid-annum, prox 42 hours additional travel time privilege, and a possible 6 or 7 degree bi-credit addition. I mean, who needs it? The data change pain would totally negate pause effect. The extra travel TP, I could utilize, of course, but I have a teammate in Denver at Tunnelran who had code access and indicates he could program an extra 6 hours into my record. Interrupt, I have a feed coming. If I can get him looped into my... bloody frontal feed. So now I know all about K-axis traffic flow. Bloody feed. Origin 12, this is... Origin 12, ident Deca, TL, J3, CMR 00965 with a normal punch-in and blue verbal verification. Deca, TL, J3, CMR 00965. Received right frontal feed, hour 1317. Date this. Contrary to stop order on all frontal feed authorized panel, Jason, code 339, effective until individual med check, night 11/8. Request manual put right immediate. Who uses K-access anyway? I've had this malfunction in my 9 spot. I don't know what you call them. We call them spots, stickers, trodes. The electrodes in your head. And my number 9, which is what the frontal feed comes in on, has had this tenderness around it for several days, starting night 13/7. And when a feed comes in, I manifest a pain reaction up to 4 or 5 degrees in that hemisphere. I can neutralize it with a manual feed on my 14 spot that a teammate told me about, but these local feeds, they come in so quickly. Interrupt. I have to turn this disc over. I have an emotion of regret in not requesting one of my unit to co-op in this operation. He can do blue verbal, so it's really red on the meter, and he'd know what subject matter I should be utilizing. My own evaluation is dry loop, but I guess I'll utilize it as a test to repeat effort when I can improve prep. Dennis Decker, TLJ3. I don't know what you want to hear. Well, I guess any data would have interest. So much must be altered. Max, when I image receiving feed from what's going to happen, just any class of touch, I need to know the consequences of my action. That's very, very high. Feed. Marekli posted second schedule coordinator with a Vectors 254, primarily in volleyball. We've been strong in recent mills. We've been pulling credits steady. The UE credits are approx 19 sub-degrees. Estimate 18.7. Close to 36, which if you don't know is rated X on nearly all new E standards. Our competition is all sub-district so far. I'm also in chess and cinemetrics. And of course the FDE, full district account, is on the view deck. That's something you should see. But volleyball is my major competitive time involvement. My non-comp rec time has been mostly at regular strike centers in Brazil, Australia, and Wendell. Also lunar service, Adam 255. Next is scheduled for day 710, probably 2 mils. I work a lot in my social interaction teams, too. That's important to keep up. There's also the 268-hour CAI time, which is... The CAI is cultural and artistic involvement, which has just been jumped to 271 per annum per source DF day 14/7. I'm in 2-dimensional graphics, mainly oil painting. I'm trying to get a labor time increase into my record. K11-7035-220623. Tropic GBS 625H, Nick Pause Effect GBS 1200/2204, leveled at 9-N times 10 to the minus 5 times 6 over J sub n. Circuit should knowledge 0.62 on alpha, delta 256 mu scale. Old J at 1 over 10 to the 8 with component check. At 12 unit yield is 7.24 N over N sub 3 times real time with the gamma yield over J. That's all the core. Check scope readout on 7-2 for error. 6 personnel are on the line and 1 major unit. I then check with TLJ3. I've been trying for this labor time increase on a TSAI, which is a technical skill application improvement. My tech skill is systems integration and copy units, and my labor time is currently 389 hours per annum. But I factually need an additional 48 or 52 to maintain proficiency. I mean, that's something that Denver can't seem to assimilate, that systems integration is a complex skill, and the M&M training and infusions can only give you so much. I mean, personnel really need the applied labor experience to enable you to operate full efficient. And hyper with a sign change issue every 3 mils is current. I'm on labor time at present in a protein processing plant. 47 copy units in this section, plus extensions. This is reading out like a complaint file, then that's an absolute error, and image should correct immediate. My personal buy credit has been kept up steady. My unit relationships are very satisfactory, sexually and analogically. My record is active. I factually find this as fun and fluid an environment as a person could request. I'm not one of these neurotic detractors who deserve everything that's been issued to them. You don't know what's been occurring. These detriment incidents. Even that demonstrates how much can be assimilated in the system. These detractors all have their levels to live according to their individual preferences. Trode factions. I suppose you had them, the anti-electrode people? Nobody's pro-electrode. In some instances, I affirm they do cause more trouble than they alleviate, but we're level that...
Para servicio 3528, amarillo segundo del este, día 165, a circuito del este, noche 155, alto a 82, se acabó.
Level currently at 13.628 billion personnel and 3.8 million major units. You don't feed coordinates to that level population by chemoverbal or any other media. We need that organization. The detractor's only nudging the red button. Not pro-electrodes. I have no tolerance for these personnel who get a 28 or 29 implant for stims or to jump their index or something. But what sort of standard of living would we achieve without them? These anti-trope people, the real abstainers, with even their BIs, with a high percentage of their printout is perfectly R&L, but should have thought of that a long time ago. Check the TLJ3. Instance, this hypothalamus proposal. Origin 16 day 11/6. I'm definitely con making spot 18 compulsory. At present, we have 9 BIs, birth implants, 7 other compulsories, and the rest optional. And in my readout, that's sufficient to maintain any level coordination. The reason for this opinion is I think Denver is using this proposal to conserve their core energy at a loss to general personnel. That's only a personal opinion, but I maintain it. Affirm, I am not one of these neurotic detractors. My readout of Denver and WASH 1 and even WASH 2 is that they're functioning max capacity with zero defect orientation, if not total achievement. My lover in WASH 1 is a K3 with rec time at Stenrad, and he's given us direct feed on this. This core detraction activity in China and Pontac can only divert world energy and it'll never affect any POS-all. This negative feedback we're operating under, I can't even head guess what percent of this you're assimilating. Image enough to get some sort of printout. But if this is only for test, then I'm really blowing blue gas for negative. I'll do a vocal. Catechit, get on, get on. Catechit, get off, catechit, go. Blue catechit, just to there, just to ride. Blue catechit, white catechit, air blowing, almost there. White catechit, catechit, get on, go. That's from way retro and pre-T group. It's factually an obsolete vocal. That catechit is sound the obsolete slidewalks made at turnings. Blue at 12 kps and white at 28. The current ones are silent. If I had some correct cortical image of late AD, even a prefrontal incomplete, I could direct this recording, plus effective by minimum 66%. Query, blue verbal, do you even utilize it? I have no correct knowledge of your time. I've only isolated bits and images. Lots of metal, animals, soldiers. But read this. It's my reason for trying to touch with you. And that's it factually, to get some feedback from you. To know about before this, what antedated this, what made... Unsolicited, holy baby. That was most negative action. Persons do not go 58 hours minus water and stay homeostatic. Alpanistol and the rest are all in our water system now, and I tried this. Spontaneous action. I've not taken any in since night 15-7. It's completely unreasonable, and I knew it could only tip up my system. I get my med check predated. My lover, Gail, she sees these bumps in my behavior profile. In fact, all of them do. I've gotten signals from my whole unit at one time or another about it. I have no feedback for it. My bio parents were both K7s with every mutation in the charts. My prenatal was full treatment with zero defect. The query, should I just ride my 3-spot all day and live on glory feed? I'll get my med check predated. This disc is absolute negative. But keep your frequencies open, AD, because Deca TL is fixated, and when Deca TL... Hold a second. Oh, Max, I hope I'm correct about this. Frankie and Johnny were sweethearts. Oh, what a couple in love. Frankie was da-da-da-da-da, just as true as the stars above. Interrupt.
Receiving support 7 delay ramp W, support 7 delay ramp W.